And it appears to the court that you're just having children and allowing somebody else to support them. And that's what you've been doing with all of your children. You haven't raised a single one of them, and you haven't been working. So let me just tell you, I'm going to help you with that.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
State of Texas versus Ashley Cabero. And are you Miss Cabero?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years at the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just request the court waive or probate the entire fine.
All right. The court will probate the fine. Ms. Caballero, how many children do you have?
I have 7,
7, 10,
9,
9.
and 7.
All right. And now you have a baby on the way?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're 18, 17, 16, 11, 10, 9, and 7. Where are they?
My 3 oldest are with their dad. My 10-year-old and my 9-year-old are adopted by my cousin. My 11-year-old and my 7-year-old are adopted by my brother. Signed over my rights.
All right. What were they asking you to do that you did not do?
I didn't comply with my house service. I needed 1 room to be completed, and it wasn't completed on time. So
Child Protective Services does not have you signing away your rights because of place.
I was doing everything I was supposed to. It's just, it wasn't, my house wasn't completed to get my kids back.
Child Protective Services works. And I would tell you, I think your attorney may have handled child protective. You have not?
Not much.
All right. I've handled plenty of Child Protective Services cases. And what you're telling me, that's not the way it works. You know how it works? They give you a year to get your life together to try to get your children back. And what ends up happening is you have a babysitter for free for a year. And housing is not ready because they help you get housing.
Yes, it was just that's what it was, the placement, my housing. It was just, they said that one of the rooms wasn't completely finished because I had to rebuild my rooms.
No, let me just tell you, what you're telling me now is not true. And let me tell you why I say it's not true. Now, that may be a part of it, but if there's a problem with the house where you're staying at, where maybe it's not up to code, guess what? Child Protective Services will help you get your house up to code. They do all of that. But if your house is not up to code, if you're moving a man in that you're not supposed to be moving in, and if you're still doing drugs, no, Child Protective Services is not giving your child back. And they will give you a year to get your act together. And if you have the fact that all these children you have, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you don't have any of them in your custody and all of them were adopted out, that tells me not only did you not do anything within a year, and the fact that they didn't extend you, because it doesn't sound like they extended you, that means that you were not doing anything. And now you're about to have another child. Are you employed?
No.
And is the father of this child the same father of your other children?
No.
Who's the father of the 18-year-old?
His dad, Christopher.
Christopher?
Solis.
So Christopher is the father of 18, 17, and 16-year-old. Who's the father of the 11-year-old?
Daniel Delaveris.
Who's the father of the 10 and 9-year-old?
The same.
And the 7-year-old?
Same.
And this child?
No, not this. Well, when I signed them over.
See, now this is where the dishonesty come in. I asked you, why were your rights taken away from you? And what did you tell me? Housing. And I even told you I've done CPS cases and they don't just take it away for housing. Now you come back with, I was using when they took my children away and I signed.
After I got my kids taken from me.
Yeah.
That's when I started using meth.
How many times were you using meth?
After they took my kids, I was using it.
Get involved in your life?
Because my daughter had an accident.
Which daughter?
My youngest, my 7-year-old.
What accident did she have?
She fell from the 2nd floor balcony to down the 2nd floor balcony under the father's watch.
Okay. So let me explain something to you. Children cannot support themselves. And it appears to the court that you're just having children and allowing somebody else to support them. And that's what you've been doing with all of your children. You haven't raised a single one of them and you haven't been working. So let me just tell you, I'm gonna help you with that. And I don't know why you're getting attitude with me. You haven't raised any of your children. None of your children are with you. Here's the thing. You have an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 11-year-old, 10-year-old, 9-year-old, 7-year-old, and none of them are with you. You're not raising them. You haven't been working. You just told me in 5 years. You haven't been financially supporting any of them. Now you have a baby on the way. But I'm going to help you with that. So I'm going to sentence her to 4 years deferred adjudication There's going to be a TAP evaluation in custody, and she's to follow all recommendations of TAP. Other than this felony case, does she have any other felonies
Not on her, well, pending, Your Honor, or in her record.
on her record?
I believe she has one other felony.
For what?
I'm not.
Unauthorized use of a vehicle.
Okay, I know it's a state jail felony, Your Honor. She says unauthorized use.
All right, she's going to do a TAP evaluation in custody. All the recommendations will be followed. If TAP says that she's not to do inpatient treatment before she's released, we're going to come back to court and find out what treatment program she needs to be in with whatever treatment court that's available. You're going to get employment, proof of it. And I understand if it ends up being a difficult pregnancy, which I hope it will not be,
It already is.
then we will do something about the employment. I know my mom worked until 9 months.
I know she's explained to me she's already a high risk.
All right. There's going to be proof of employment within 45 days of release. And if she can't work, then she'll need to find she need to have a doctor's excuse. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Once she's released, we're going to do the UA hotline until further notice. 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Make sure that's intensive parenting classes. And once she completes that, the community service hours will be waived. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. She is not allowed to reside in any home with minors. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. And do a gang evaluation on her, please. Off the record, your body needs to be hard on you because you just can't go through this world having children and wanting somebody else to support them. And that's what's been happening. You can't go through this world and not have employment. The only people who are allowed to not really have employment are eccentric, wealthy people because they already have the money. But you're going to have to get a job. You can't be finding yourself now. You know the reason why you don't have time to find yourself? Because you have all these children and you continue to have more children. So it's going to have to stop. You understand?
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to you.
It's based on the new case, Your Honor. What happened? He got out of jail, went to a guard shack right there, and I believe he tried to get in there for the air conditioning.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Wait, one's a motion. One's a motion to revoke, and the other is a new case. It's all related.
What are we doing?
I can give you a summary. On the motion to revoke, we've submitted an agreement to the court for a continuum on probation with 180 days in jail as a sanction. And on the new case, 2 years probated for 5 years.
It's based on the new case, Your Honor. What happened? He got out of jail, went to a guard shack right there, and I believe he tried to get in there for the air conditioning. There was a couple items that were just sitting outside, like an umbrella and the bucket or a chair, but then they found him just laying right there outside of there, out of the guard shack, but he was not allowed to enter into there.
And it was the same day he was released from jail, just released from jail and made it to the guard shack before the street.
Oh, well, how much time does he have? Accrued, please?
I think he's been in jail since this occurred, which was June 15th. Does that sound right? Yes, sir.
Judge's time credit on the NPRP is 350 days. On the new case, it's 46 days.
Probation office was kind
Maybe
enough.
we have a minute so I can discuss that with him, Joe.
This is, you want to look at this?
No, sir.
This is report, and it's what we talked,
Yes.
what we just talked about. Thank you, ma'am. Y'all let me know on that, and I'm just gonna hold Mr. Powell, but I'm gonna reject that deal, see if y'all can work something out instead. Yeah.
I can change it on the text.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let's go back on Mr. Powell's cases.
Yes.
2 cases.
Yes, sir. I can change it. on the
And
tablet.
in older case, there is a motion to revoke unadjudicated probation. And you were Dante Ramon Powell.
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand, lower your hand. Summary, this states that on October 12th, 2020, in this court, that you were placed on 10 years deferred or unadjudicated probation for harassment of a public servant. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Allegation number 2 states that you committed the offense of burglary of a building on or about June 15th, 2024, which is represented in this new indictment of state jail felony. Is that true and correct?
Yes, sir.
Agreement has been reached. that your probation would be revoked, you would be found guilty and sentenced to 2 years in prison. This indictment alleges that on or about June 15th, 2024 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the state jail felony of burglary of a building. You understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir.
If convicted, you face confinement in a state jail for any term of not less than 180 days or more than 2 years. Additionally, you may be assessed a fine not to exceed $10,000. An agreement's been reached where you would be pleading guilty, sentenced to 180 days in the state jail. Is that your understanding, to run concurrently with the motion to revoke probation?
Yes, sir.
And how do you plead to this, guilty or not guilty?
Yes, sir.
Be granted as you have pleaded true to committing the offense of burglary of a building on or about June 15th, 2024 in Jefferson County, Texas, which is allegation number 2, and which is represented in this new indictment. Your probation, earlier deferred or unadjudicated probation, is hereby revoked in that case. You are hereby found guilty. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the state jail for 180 days in that case, and indictment has been revoked. You are now found guilty. You have been sentenced to 2 years in state prison. These cases shall run concurrently. You're given credit for time you have served in accordance with these cases. Do you understand what has happened today, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, that is all.
Thank you all so very much for watching to the end. Please subscribe and drop a like if indeed you did enjoy. I hope so. Until the next time, I'm off to feed those cats. And if you want to see another cool episode of mine without all the mandatory stuff, then click on the episode on screen now.